All right, crack open a tip of Genesee. Watch the pictures as they travel through your neighbor's Wi-Fi. It's the Rees Company. I'm Steve Rees, the bull of American broadcasting, alongside the great Chris Morganti. How are you, Chris?
I'm good.
Very excited?
No, but I'm here.
Why are you not excited? Why are you less than enthused?
I didn't really enjoy the movie this week, so there we go.
Okay. You were dissatisfied. Well, I guess we'll talk about what you didn't like about it later on.
Yeah.
You should be very excited, though.
Why is that? Do we have an announcement?
We have an announcement.
Oh,
and
okay.
Maybe I should kind of set this up. If you didn't see last week's episode, we discussed a movie of the week called Violation of Trust from 1991.
Yeah.
One of its stars was a gal called Charlotte Ross. Now, you knew a lot about this gal.
Well, no, I didn't, but I looked stuff up in the process of watching that movie last week.
And you found out she was part of a cast of another show.
Another show, which had a 13-episode run in 1991, was called The Heights, starring Jamie Walters of Ray Pruitt fame. Of course, we all know who he is. We've all heard his albums, We're all very familiar with his.
We all know that one horrible song that was a way bigger hit than it deserved to be.
#1 hit.
How Do You Talk to an Angel? Which was the theme from The Heights.
Yes. Written by the man who also wrote the show, oddly enough.
Now, you were very excited to talk about Charlotte Ross because you were very excited to talk about The Heights because this is what we learned, Chris. You're a huge fan of Jamie Walters and his subsequent musical career.
Yeah. I also think he's a great actor, but yes, I'm a fan of his music.
Now, you had never seen the show The Heights.
I've never seen it, no.
It lasted 13 episodes in, 1993?
I believe it was 91.
91. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this journey, as they say, together. And every other week, until we exhaust the episode run, which I believe is 13 episodes. Yeah.
Right.
We're going to, an episode of this program will be dedicated to an episode of The Heights.
Yes, we'll be alternating our usual movie of the week with an episode of The Heights. So nothing on the show will really change. We'll just be watching something a little different. That's it.
It'll be the same, but it's going to be more Heights-centric. And who knows, it may turn out to be a pretty decent show. You already like the music, so you're probably skewed in that department, thinking, this will be an excellent thing to consume.
But, of course, I'm talking about music that he released later on in his career, none of which featured in The Heights, and none of which we could play anyway because every time we play music, YouTube inserts themselves into our situation. It causes problems.
Okay. We haven't decided on a title yet, although you did have a great suggestion, The Heights in Depth.
Yeah.
I like that.
All right. Well, it's a working title then.
Yeah, but if anybody has any other suggestions, please let us know. Drop us a note in the comments after you like, subscribe, and share. Anything you want to talk about before we get into our movie of the week?
No, I'd like to dive right in.
Okay, let's dive right into this. It's called The Loneliest Runner, and it's from 1976. First, let's hit the theme. The Loneliest Runner. It aired on December 20th, 1976 on NBC. It features Michael Landon, who also wrote and directed. Now, at this point in his career, he's the star of Little House on the Prairie. You're familiar with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. He plays the adult John Curtis. John Curtis is a man who has overcome a particular childhood difficulty to become an Olympic athlete. And this difficulty, incidentally, is also one Michael Landon suffered as a child himself.
Yeah.
So here's John getting ready to be interviewed by Rafer Johnson about his gold medal victory.
Tonight's are kind of hot.
No, they're all right.
We'll be on in about 2 minutes. First, we'll show a videotape replay of the finish of your race, and then I'll ask a few questions. We'll just talk about it.
Okay. What kind of question?
Well, like how you felt during the race, what got you interested in running, things like that. Just relax.
Oh, by the way, this seat was wet when I sat down.
Okay. All right.
You'll understand that in a minute. Michael Landon is not the star of this film. He's hardly even in it.
Right.
The lead role is played by a child called Lance Kerwin, who portrays John Curtis as a child.
By the way, in case anyone's confused about what we just saw, he won the marathon at the Olympics.
Yeah.
And this was 1976. December of 1976, you said?
Yes.
So that summer had been the Olympics in Montreal, I think. But the Summer Olympics, and that was the year Bruce Jenner won the decathlon. So I think, it was that type of thing was popular at the time. That's why they decided to make him an Olympic guy instead of, like he could have been like a baseball player or whatever.
Right. But also in real life, and this is based on, not the Olympics part,
Right.
but this is based on Michael Landon's upbringing.
Yeah.
He was a track and field star. He got a scholarship to, I believe, was it Community State?
Yeah, probably Community State, yeah.
As a javelin thrower, but
Yeah.
an injury kept him out of
Yeah.
out of contention.
Well, any actor can pretend to be a runner, but it's a little bit harder to master the javelin and make it look convincing. So I see why they made that switch. It's not easy to throw a javelin.
So
You lose your place?
I lost my place.
That's okay. Take your time. We have all night.
It happens.
I didn't think it would take this long, but okay. Take your time.
I'm trying to. What just happened here?
I don't know.
39 years, and this is what happens. All right, so Michael Landon's not the star. He's hardly even in it. The lead role is played by Lance Kerwin, who portrays John as a child. Now, while the adult John Curtis waits for his TV interview to begin, he reflects on his childhood.
Right.
So now we see John's morning routine at the age of, I believe, 12 or perhaps 13.
I think he said he's 13 and a freshman in high school, which seems kind of young.
Time passes. Time passes during
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. They do that calendar thing where you see the
Oh,
pages.
that's right. I
Yeah.
forgot all about that
Yeah.
calendar scene. Okay. Yeah.
So let's take a look at this. John's morning routine. This is a bit long, Chris, so if you want to describe what's happening, although the people can see it. Not necessary.
Well, he's up to something suspicious, but we don't know what yet.
Mm-mm.
But, yeah, he's just woken up, and he seems very concerned with those sheets. That kind of looks like a rubber sheet underneath it, too. What could be going on here?
I might have had dreams about the Titanic, is what you're saying? Stuffing those sheets into a gym bag.
Yeah.
Stripping off his pajamas.
Okay.
Yeah, you get the general idea.
Yeah, he's a bedwetter.
Yeah. Now, just after this, John's father, played by Brian Keith, he enters the scene. His name is Arnold. He opens the door and asks John how he made out, referring to how he made out during the night.
Right.
It's now been 5 nights without incident, John claims. And now we can see that that's not the case. He's obviously hiding something. Arnold is proud of his son, but he doesn't know that John's been stuffing those clothes in that duffel bag. And you know what else he's been doing, right?
Going to the laundromat?
You're running to the laundromat every morning
Yeah.
before school to wash his wet sheets and pajamas. So John and his father have this deal going. They've made an arrangement, an agreement, a bet, if you will. If John doesn't wet the bed for a fortnight, he'll get a full-size bed.
Yep.
Yeah, now, John's mother, Alice, she's very skeptical. Let's take a look.
I mean, you got such a negative attitude. 5 nights is a big thing to him. You know how much he wants that bed?
Oh, don't start on that again. I think you've blown the importance of that bed completely out of proportion.
I don't think I have. Do you know he never has his friends up in his room?
So?
Because he's embarrassed to have them see that little bed.
Well, he ought to be more embarrassed by the fact that he wets it. Now, the bed thing is your idea, so when it doesn't work, I'll just let you take care of the sheets.
Yeah, so one day in the school cafeteria, John encounters a new student called Nancy. She's played by Michael Landon's TV daughter, Melissa Sue Anderson. Let's take a look at this encounter.
Hi. Oh, hi. Don't you live on Collins Avenue? Uh-huh. I thought so. I saw you walking that way after school a couple of times. You go so fast I couldn't catch up. Oh. You're new here, aren't you? We just moved here a week ago. We live on Collins Avenue, 103. Yeah? We live next door, 111.
Really? His address is 3 number ones?
Oh. I'm just going to spitball some ideas here, Steve, but maybe a waterbed combined with some sort of catheter system, and you kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah, there might be something. Wait. I mean, that's very innovative.
Yeah.
But there are other ways to deal with this than what we see unfold.
This is not the best way to deal with it by far, what we're about to see.
I'd like to think that, because Michael Landon wrote this,
Right.
I'd like to think that he put that 111, the address being 111. I think he put that in there as a joke for idiots like us to figure out decades later.
Sure.
It's a comedy time bomb.
What they call an Easter egg.
Good going, little Joe. Nancy tells John to walk slowly going home, suggesting that she'd like to accompany him.
Right.
Very nice. So John sits down and has lunch with his friends. They're 2 of his football teammates. It's Friday, and one of the boys suggests having a sleepover that night. They have practice in the morning. Now, of course, John is mortified.
Right.
Do you know what he tells them?
I forget.
That he's planning on going bowling with his father.
Oh, okay.
And he doesn't want to disappoint him, so he can't attend. Now, Nancy, she catches up with John on the walk home, and she makes a study date with him for the following night, which he accepts. Early the next morning, it's game day now, Chris. Big football game for John and his friends. Yeah. John sneaks out and runs to the laundromat, only to find it closed. How does he react?
Not well, I would imagine.
No, not well at all. He breaks the storefront window out of frustration using his duffel bag. Now, this duffel bag really should be telling on him by now. It's nearly a week at this point since he's been filling it with sheets and pajamas just caked with urine.
Yeah.
And the clean ones go right back into the same bag.
Maybe he's washing the bag, too.
I don't know about that. To me, it's a flawed concept. Anyway, the act of vandalism sets off the laundromat's alarm. So John runs home, and he's safely back in bed when his father awakens. Arnold, his father.
Right.
Arnold checks in with John, who deceptively claims to have made it through another night without wetting the bed.
Yeah.
His father now ups the ante, telling him not only the following Saturday, if he keeps this up, he can pick out not only any bed he likes, but his own TV set for his room.
Yeah. And I found that odd because this is set in the 50s.
Right.
I didn't think they had portable TVs back then, but I looked it up, and apparently they did. Who knew? Yeah. They had like little tabletop models. I didn't think that came around until the 60s.
And Arnold's a man of means.
I don't know.
So during the game, John scores a touchdown. Fantastic moment for him. It's a major lodge victory for the team, and Arnold plans to take John and his friends out for a hot dog to celebrate.
Yeah. You know what I liked about the football scene, Steve? Was
What's that?
The music. Great soundtrack to this movie. In fact, Jim, why don't you bring up the thing that shows some of the songs that are in this movie? And yeah, there we go. We got Britney Spears. Oops, I did it again. You got, of course, Golden Slumbers by the Beatles. And I don't remember the name of the song, but it's by the band Stained. Yeah, like the bed sheets were. And lastly, there was a Pearl Jam song. You want to take a guess on the Pearl Jam song, Steve?
I can't come up with it. What are we?
Yellow Bedwetter? So, yeah, good soundtrack to this movie.
Yeah, filled with genuine classics. So Arnold wants to take John and his friends out to get some hot dogs. But first, Arnold wants to stop by the house to tell Alice, John's mother, where they're going. This is before cell phones.
Right.
So this turns out to be a pretty big and humiliating mistake. Mm-hmm. Let's see.
2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Round, round. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate?
John.
Those are his sheets.
Yeah.
I'll drive you guys home now, okay?
That's okay, Mr. Curtis. We can walk.
No trouble.
No, thanks. We'll throw the ball around the way. We'll see you.
And they all know what that sheet signifies.
His mother is doing that to shame him
Yeah.
because she thinks that that'll get him to stop.
Yeah. That's her move. That's her tactic.
Yeah.
They recognize that. They see the sheets and they know that, he's a bedwetter.
Right. And they were not, I don't know if you're going to cover it, but they were not fooled by his ruse
No.
later on.
No, we're going to get to that.
Okay.
It's not major, but we will discuss it. Apparently, this was a common punishment.
Yeah. I'm hearing yes in my ear from someone, from an authority. But, yeah.
On the subject, yes. Well, we don't want to embarrass anybody, but yeah, this was definitely something that people did back in the day as a means of acknowledging the problem and hoping that the shame would lead to a change in behavior because they saw this as a behavioral issue, not a medical one or a psychological one.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. And I can't imagine treating your kid that way, but.
Right. And it was so common. Everybody in this scene knew what happened when they saw the sheets. In fact, I found a medical text from as late as 2006 describing this phenomenon.
Okay.
As a tactic some people use to combat this illness. I don't know what you would call it.
Okay.
Condition. Now, for all of his cleverness so far, here's where John is dumb. Why doesn't he just spray paint "My mother is a loon" in giant letters all over his sheets? That would probably put a stop to this, Chris.
Yeah. Or the dad could have some balls. You know, one of the two.
Oh, well, he ends up having some.
Right.
But not in the right direction. So far, Arnold has been patient and understanding with John. Alice, on the other hand, she's John's mother again. She's been very unforgiving. That night, Arnold tries to reason with Alice, and she's completely unreachable.
Alice, the boy is hurt.
Well, he should be hurt. He's hurt me long enough, hasn't he? First the bed, now the lying. Well, I've had enough. And what do? You just sit there. It's time you started to act like a father. If you were more of a man, maybe your son wouldn't act like a baby.
Why do you have to start this?
Because I'm tired, that's why. Tired of a weak son and a weaker husband. If I left it up to you, he'd wet the bed the rest of his life.
And what do you expect me to do?
Be a man. Go in that room and discipline the boy yourself for once.
He feels bad enough now.
You keep saying that. He does not. If he did, he'd stop. He's just lazy, that's all. Just too damn lazy to get up and use the toilet.
Yeah, Alice takes John's bedwetting so personally. You would think that she and he sleep on bunk beds and she's on the bottom. She browbeats Arnold to the point where he goes full Team Alice and does this heel turn. Let's see this.
Why did you lie? Huh? You told me to stop. Now, why did you have to lie about it? Answer me!
I don't know.
Well, you'll think of one. I want an answer now.
I just don't know.
You don't know? Well, you better think of something. You better think of it fast, because I've been real easy on you, and I'm not going to do it anymore, you hear? Now, what your mother did today was right, and I'm going to see she keeps on doing it until you stop. You hear me? Till you stop. I'm talking to you. Do you hear me?
Yeah, so pretty, that's a turn.
Yeah.
Arnold was Team John for so long.
Yeah. And he feels, I mean, it's like the next scene. He feels very bad after hitting his son like that.
Right.
But, yeah. I'm going to guess that this whole bedwetting issue is not the only problem in their marriage.
I wouldn't think. She doesn't seem like an easy person to live with.
No.
Whether you're wetting the bed or not.
Right.
Yeah, he does tell her that he feels bad about doing that. He does this while they lie in separate beds, which makes me think John's problem might be hereditary.
Oh.
Alice, however, thinks her husband's violence was justified. Now, the next day at school, John sees friends of his who were privy to the sheet display. Do you remember what he tells them, how he tries to explain it away?
He tries to blame it on an imaginary dog. They don't own a dog.
Right. Well, it was a stray that he took in.
That's what he says.
And then subsequently had to take to the vet because his mother was not best pleased about the mess he created on John's bed.
You know, when you adopt an incontinent dog and then it goes on your sheets and your mother hangs him out the window, it's a tale as old as time.
Right. And they're kind enough to pretend to believe him.
Right. Yeah, they don't make a deal of it.
Right, right.
Which is not how 13-year-old boys act at all.
That's not how they operate?
No.
So Nancy, she's the girl next door. John's love interest, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
It turns out John stood her up for their study date.
Well, she's basically throwing herself at him the entire movie.
Yeah.
But he's reluctant to do anything because, you know.
His schedule revolves around covering up his bedwetting.
Yeah.
So she's still willing to attend his football practice so they can walk home together. But he sprints out of school, returns home, skips practice, and rips the previous night's sheet from the window out of public view. He tells his parents he didn't go to practice because he lost his gear.
Yeah. I'm not clear on why that happened.
Why? What happened?
He didn't want to play football anymore, so he lied about losing his equipment.
Well, it's not that he didn't want to play football. It's that the football schedule, the practice schedule, conflicted with his ability to get home in time to remove the sheet before Nancy could see it.
Yeah, right.
So in reality, he threw his gear in the garbage.
Yeah.
Some months pass. This is where that calendar scene happens that you apparently missed. Yeah. I guess you did see it. You just forgot. And John, he's still wetting the bed. Alice is still shaming him by hanging his urine-stained sheets out the window, or, as R. Kelly might call it, creating curb appeal. John is sprinting home from school every day now for the same reason, to get the sheets out of the window before Nancy can see them. Since the
So he's sprinting every morning to the laundromat.
Well, no, not anymore.
Well,
because
that's true. He got rid of the gym bag. Yeah,
right.
So he was sprinting to the laundromat.
Well, he can't go back to that laundromat because he
broke the
caused
window.
damage.
Right.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, he's sprinting every morning,
or
running every morning. Mm-hmm. And then later on, he's doing the same every afternoon. So, yeah,
he's developing a skill.
Yeah. I'm just pointing that out.
Okay, all right. The bedwetting won't stop, so John's parents take him to see a doctor, and they confer with Alice. The doctor confers with Alice and Arnold after the checkup.
We've completed all the necessary tests. We haven't found any physical problems with the boy.
Meaning it's mental?
Well, no, that's very unlikely. Some children have a very deep sleep pattern. So deep, in fact, they just can't wake up when they're supposed to.
How long does that last?
Well, that's hard to say.
Doctor, how can you be sure it's that and not just laziness? Or spite, for that matter?
Well, no one consciously wants to wet the bed, Mrs. Curtis. Mr. Curtis, did you have a bedwetting problem as a child?
What?
Well, it's just this sleep pattern I'm talking about. It's usually hereditary, more so in boys than girls.
No, I did when I was a baby, of course. But
I see.
So, where does that leave us? It's supposed to be hereditary, but in this case it isn't.
Well, I said usually hereditary.
And I still say he's doing it on purpose.
Yeah. Alice disagrees with the doctor's opinion that John's bedwetting is not a personal attack on her.
Yeah.
She just can't grasp that he's not trying to create household drama, incite violence, lose friends, lose the affection of Nancy. The doctor also tells her that shaming John won't do her any good.
Right.
Or him any good.
Yeah.
That's not what Alice wants to hear, so she storms out of the office. Now, one day in gym class,
hey, everybody!
Hey, it's who is this?
This This is puppet Jamie Walters, everyone.
Oh, of the Heights fame?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Thank you for joining us, Jamie.
Yeah, how are you? Yeah.
You heard about the show we're about to do regarding your best-known work?
Oh, yeah, that sounds great. I can't wait. I'll be here all the time. You all right, man? You seem a little out of sorts here. Oh, yeah, I had a rough week. I had a house guest over. Oh, really? Who was that? Amber Heard. Boy, is my place a wreck. It's going to take me days to clean all that up. I'm not sure anyone believes you, Puppet Jamie Walters, that you know Amber Heard. I mean, how would you even meet her? She hired me to clean out her septic tank. And boy, was that a big job. I had to bring in a second crew. Okay, all right. I see you're having some fun with us here. I hadn't seen anything like that come out of someone who hasn't won the Kentucky Derby. She leaves a trail like Hannibal crossing the Alps, if you know what I mean. I'm not sure anyone does. She shits like an elephant. Okay. All right. I guess we get it then. You got anything else for us this week? Or I'll be back next week to talk about my hit show. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Puppet Jamie Walters.
All right, Puppet Jamie Walters. Thank you for being a part of this. We appreciate it. And we'll see him as part of the upcoming program.
Yep.
Okay, we look forward to that. So one day in gym class, John, the assignment is to run around the track at a mile's length. I guess that's 4 laps.
Yeah.
John Curtis, his name is, he makes quite an impression.
Susie, get me Coach Sanders, will you please?
It's your cousin, Coach Barry. Wait till you get a load of this.
Hi, George, this is Fred. Listen, swing your chair around and take a look out the window at the track,
that
will you?
stride
Just
you've been
do it.
looking
See that
for.
kid way out in front? His name's Curtis, 13-year-old. He's running the mile. I'll tell you for so what. He just did the half mile a second under our school record. Not the junior high school record, George, the senior high school record.
Yeah, now John's only a freshman.
Right.
At this point. So he can't compete for the varsity team. But the track coach offers him the chance to train with the varsity squad after school. Mm-hmm. So he'll be ready to compete when he's eligible
next year
to join the following year. So at dinner that night, John broaches the prospect with his parents.
With the varsity. He said I'm a real good runner. I told him I'd have to ask you first. It'd only be for an hour after school. I could come home, do my chores, and then go back. It wouldn't take long.
Why would you want to do that? Silly to come all the way home first. You can wash your sheet after practice.
Well, I don't mind.
Well, I do. If you want to run around the school, that's fine with me. But your sheet will hang out that window till you get home. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, ma'am.
You like the roast so much, finish it. I wish he was as anxious to run from his bed to his bathroom.
Zing.
That was your favorite part.
That's one for you there, Mom. This movie reminded me of another joke, Steve. What's black and doesn't work? Michael Landon's pancreas.
All right.
I thought we were just having fun here.
We're indeed having fun. So John's now torn between training for his athletic future and Nancy seeing his nocturnal abstract art.
Yeah, the cute girl next door, he has to get home before her every day, so she doesn't... How does she not know? All right, whatever. But
Well, John chooses the potential for romance. But Alice now has an announcement of her own. Let's see this.
Oh, Tony Ferner's mother called today. It's Tony's birthday Friday. She's going to let the boys sleep over and then go to a movie on Saturday. I accepted the invitation for you.
For the movie?
No, you sleep over and then go to the movie.
Mom, I
You
can't
do as I say.
Alice, you know...
Just a minute. John, you're through. Go upstairs.
Alice.
You just listen for a minute. You tell me I'm wrong. The doctor tells me I'm wrong. Well, I have to find out one way or the other. Now, if he goes over to the Furners and has a dry bed, then I'm right, and we'll know how to deal with him. If he doesn't, if he wets, then I'll accept it, and I'll just have to live with it.
I mean, it's a logical approach. You got to give her that much, you know? Like you said, there was a medical textbook that said, you know, maybe that was the right way. She just doesn't know, you know?
Well, the medical textbook just acknowledged it as a practice people engage in. It didn't take a side as to whether or not it's a valid way of overcoming the obstacle.
Yeah. But, I mean, she doesn't, like, she comes across as awful in this movie, but you can kind of see where, you know, maybe she's just ill-informed and frustrated. You know, there can be a little bit of sympathy there for her.
Right,
you know.
Right. Well, John attends the sleepover.
Right.
That she just foisted on him. But he chooses to stay awake all night while the other boys rest. The next morning, they head to the cinema.
Wouldn't you just stay awake until you went to the bathroom finally? I don't, you know what? I don't know how this. I don't
think it matters if he goes to the bathroom or not prior to retiring.
Yeah, I don't know how it works. I should shut up. So
let's see this.
Were they seeing a showing of Evita starring Madonna?
You didn't care for that?
I fell asleep 5 minutes into that.
What was it? What was it that bored you? You're not a fan of musicals anyway.
No, most of them, no. There's a couple I like, but yeah, for the most part.
What made you go see it?
A girl dragged me there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That was fine. I got a great nap. I had no complaints whatsoever.
It was very peaceful.
Yeah.
All right. Well, luckily, no one is the wiser in this situation because the next feature is the Poseidon Adventure in Sense-Around.
I don't think you mean the Poseidon Adventure. I think you mean the French Connection.
I don't think so.
No? All right.
Oh, the Poseidon Adventure, disaster movie on a cruise ship. It gets flooded.
Right.
So the next person who sat in that movie seat?
Well, I was thinking the French Connection because this is like the most exciting car chase we're about to see.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's not do that just yet.
Okay.
We have things to catch people up on.
Oh, okay. I thought that was next.
So that night, Alice tells John that she knows he was dry at the sleepover.
Yeah.
She says she would like the same courtesy.
Yeah.
She feels vindicated in her belief in that John is trying to spite her by suffering himself a world of shame and humiliation.
I think if you're going to spite someone, you would piss in their bed, not your own.
Yeah, he's really showing her, isn't he? Now, for many months now, John has been successful in dashing home and removing the sheet before Nancy can see it. But one day, Nancy's dad is waiting outside the school.
With his shiny new car.
Yeah, he just bought a new car, and he's excited to show it to Nancy, and he sees John coming out of school.
Right.
And offers him a ride home, too, because they're next-door neighbors. It makes sense.
Right.
John declines the invitation and runs off. Can he outrun an automobile?
It wouldn't seem so. I would bet against that.
Well, and let's see for sure.
Can we stop it? Can we stop it?
Jim?
Here's what I'll say about this guy in his shiny new sports car. It shouldn't have been that close. What kind of sports car did you buy?
Well, he obeys.
He almost got beat by a 13-year-old kid.
He obeys all local speed limits. And school just let out. There's a school zone.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so that gives John a head start.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, man. But that was pretty close. Yeah, John runs from the scene in shame. Actually, we are going to, let's take a look at a little more of this. Oh, there it is. They pull him. There's the sheet. Hanging from the window. full view for the young Nancy.
Man, when you see that hanging there like that, that really is. I can't imagine being a kid and being put through that.
It's got to be the worst.
That's horrible. Yeah. Hey, I can't imagine being convinced that that's the right way to solve this problem.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, John flees the scene in shame, and he keeps on running, Chris, into the night. He gains after-hours entry to Gregory's. Now, that's the apartment store that Arnold promised to take him to buy him a new bed.
Department store. I think you said apartment store, which would be an odd place.
I'm having all kinds of issues tonight. I don't know what it is.
Let's go down to the apartment store and buy an apartment.
The department store, where Arnold promised to take John to buy a full-size bed if he just for 2 weeks didn't wet his twin bed or
and a
cot or whatever that is.
And a television.
And a television. He added that in, too. So the first thing in the store John sees is an L.A. Rams
Is that Herb
helmet.
Monganus? We'll have to add in a phone ring to the show audio because I don't think the mics picked that up. But I've been waiting for months to do that joke. Just waiting for the damn phone to ring. And no one's going to get it. We're the only two who are ever going to get that joke.
But see, that's the thing. That's why you should watch every show.
Yeah.
Every minute of every show.
Yeah.
And that's how you'll understand what we're talking about.
That one goes back to
off the Minnesota Strip. Yeah. So John is set free in this department store. Well, he let himself in. And the first thing he sees is an L.A. Rams helmet. He puts that on and runs up 2 stories of shut-down escalators. And that leads him to the mattress and bed springs section of the department store. And let's see what happens when he espies this. This is a bit long.
Yeah, I'll be honest. At this point, practice for the IndyCar race this weekend came on. So I had a split screen thing going on.
Oh, you weren't fully aware of what went on during the scene?
I was not paying close attention from this point forward. So what? He slept in the department store.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh, good luck sewing that mattress.
Gregory's is flooded, and your son is responsible.
Sorry to step on your joke.
No, that's fine. It turns out that none of those things happened at all.
Yeah. What's that all about?
Well, I guess we're going to find out, but I'm not entirely sure.
Maybe he just needed a real bed the whole time, and then this problem would end, you know?
Possibly.
Yeah.
And lucky for John, because he merely spent the night in the department store and didn't damage anything, miraculously. The manager of the store decides to look the other way. Yeah. So now, here are John and his parents as they reunite.
Now, would you mind telling us what happened?
I had a dry night.
What?
I slept in a big bed and it was dry.
What did the police tell you? You spent the night here?
How did you know it was going to be?
You mean you just ran off and spent the night here while your father and I went crazy worrying about
I
you?
knew.
We were up the whole night.
Is that why
What do
you
you think was
ran
going
away?
through our minds? Will you answer me that?
Oh, my sheet.
I called the school. All of
Nancy
your
Rizzi
friends.
saw it.
I can't understand. Hold on.
Where I know
Can we
it.
pause it? First of all, it seems like they're corroborating the theory I just came up with a minute ago, where the kid just needed a real bed. But I can't figure out what the hell, with her blabbering over this, I can't make out any of the dialogue here.
Okay, so you're having difficulty understanding this because of the Yoko Ono album playing in the background?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can help you out. We can actually skip to the next one in a bit, Jim. Here's what happens. John tells his dad that he saw the luxurious bed and knew he wouldn't wet it if he slept on it. Since Nancy saw his wet sheet hanging out the window, he decided he wasn't going to pull that stunt any longer.
What stunt?
Wetting his bed. Now, doesn't that prove, as you're saying, his mother's point?
Yeah.
Not that he's whizzing all over his bedroom to spite her for her inconvenience, but that he could stop. He just was choosing not to. He lacked the motivation.
Yeah.
And if Nancy seeing his wet sheet led to him willing away his problem, then was the public shaming ultimately not successful?
Yeah, it appears that it was, yeah.
I'm not sure this film sends the right messages.
Yeah. This mixed message at best that they're sending with this. Yeah.
Now, there's a brilliant part. Actually, let's watch the rest of this. Never mind. It's okay. I'll explain what happened. Arnold finally tells Alice to shut up.
Yeah.
And it's a satisfying moment.
Yeah, we should see that because that's what we've been building toward.
Okay, well,
I think everyone's waiting for him just to tell her off.
Okay,
so.
let's see that for. Let's let everybody take a look at that. Although I did kind of just ruin it by saying what he said.
My sheet.
I called the school. All
Nancy,
of your
Rees
friends.
saw it.
I was
But I know I
sick
can
to my
stop
stomach.
now.
Do you
I swear I
understand me?
know it.
Sick to my stomach. John, I am speaking to you, and I expect an answer.
Alice, will you please shut up?
I will not shut up. You and
Shut up!
There you go. So now that the shrill ninny is neutralized,
Yeah.
Arnold is able to open up to his son. Let's move on to this.
See, I used to wet the bed, too. When I was your age.
What?
Yep. I know I should have told you, but I'm sorry.
God, I know. I understand, Dad.
Hell, I did it till I was 14.
In fact, look out. I'm doing it right now. So Dad had a secret of his own.
Yeah.
And one that he could have easily divulged at any time and made the situation a lot easier for his son.
Yeah, especially when the doctor told him it was hereditary.
Yeah, and he did ask him.
Yeah.
And he denied it.
So now you find out he's just as bad as the mom. You know.
To a degree.
To a degree, exactly.
Yeah. Just as guilty as far as creating mental trauma for the kid.
Yeah.
When all of this could have been fixed in another manner. So John regains his confidence.
Yeah.
He no longer wets the bed. He starts practicing with the varsity track team, and he makes up with Nancy.
Yep.
So it's a win all around.
Yeah.
So now it's present day.
See, now, because I was only paying half attention,
Right.
I assume that was all because of his father's admission. I didn't pick up on the other stuff, like the real bed and the, whatever.
Well, it's good to get a real-time, honest, first-view reaction.
Yeah.
All right.
I have no regrets over my viewing of this.
Okay.
My slipshod viewing.
So now it's present day, and John's back in the TV studio, and his interview is taking place. Let's take a look.
This is after he won the marathon.
Yeah.
What is it that makes a man want to run those kind of distances, to drive himself like that? If you had to give one reason for your running, what would you say?
Dry himself or drive himself?
Drive.
Oh, drive. Okay. Because, the 26 miles of wind brushing up against your shorts would dry them, one would think.
So he's asked what drives a man to attain that kind of speed.
Yeah.
To take on a full athletic career.
Yeah.
And John says, you'll find out when I stand up. No, his real answer is diplomatic.
Yeah.
It's misleading.
Yeah.
But it's not a lie. He says he owes it all to his mom and dad.
Yeah, that's what he says.
And the film concludes with a replay of John's gold medal victory. But it also lets his mother off the hook and justifies emotional abuse.
Well, no, I don't know what type of TV show they're trying to portray here, but it would be funny, in 1976 for just like a network sports show. And he's there, well, I used to piss the bed all the time. My mom would hang the sheets out the window. And, Yeah.
Yeah, I do think this film, it's a horrible message for parents that if you humiliate your child over things that he can't help, and that shame leads him to run around trying to hide secrets from you, his friends, his girlfriend, you're not merely doing the right thing. You're creating the next generation of world-class athlete.
Yeah. I believe the Soviets tried this a lot back in the 70s.
So is there anything else you want to say about this movie before we rate it?
No.
Shall we do the YouTube comment carrot of the week?
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
Okay, this is from a user called simply YouTube. I don't think this is official.
Wow, that's weird.
Here's the comment. I haven't seen this since I was a preteen. I was looking for the scene where the mother put his wet underwear over his head.
Sure.
Then I realized that my mother didn't get the idea from the movie. She just came up with it herself.
Oh.
So that's an unfortunate person.
Wow, no thumbs up on that comment, huh?
None.
Wow.
Kind of deserves something.
I like everyone read that and just said, okay, moving on.
Moving on. So do you want to rate it first or shall I?
Yeah, I've been going first, so why don't you take this one?
Okay, I give it 3 out of 5 Meredith Baxters.
Wow.
Despite the misguided stance on parenting, it's well acted, fast-paced, and it told an engaging story. I especially liked the father-son relationship. I'd have rated it higher, though, if in the end, John and Arnold teamed up to murder Alice for the peace and quiet.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to go lower. I'm going to go 2 out of 5. And I agreed with the things you said, except for the engaging story part. I didn't find it that engaging, especially once practice for IndyCar started. Yeah, I just didn't think it made that great of a story. I mean, I feel like there'd be a huge emotional connection for anyone who had this problem,
Had that experience,
or a
sure.
similar problem. So I get that, but I don't know that that's a big enough audience. I don't know how it would like connect with a mass audience, and I just didn't connect with it. But so two Meredith Baxters for me.
Okay. I have some ancillary information about this film.
Really?
Yeah. As we mentioned, this film was based on Michael Landon's own childhood. He did wet the bed until he was 14, and his mother, who was called Peggy O'Leary, she really did hang his dirty sheets out the window.
Yeah.
But the emotional abuse, went much deeper, as you mentioned. There were other problems in this household. You can see the subtext in the film that there were other issues going on.
Yeah.
In the parenting and in the marriage. One day, Michael Landon had to save his mother's life when she tried to drown herself in the ocean.
Drown herself in his bed? What?
Well, Michael Landon, he was very shaken by the incident, and his mother acted like nothing odd had occurred.
Mm.
She tried to stab him. There was all kinds of violence and emotional abuse. And she had severe mental problems and took those out on her family.
Yeah.
I also have additional information on Lance Kerwin.
I have no idea who that is.
He's the child actor we saw portray John Curtis.
Okay. All right.
The young de facto Michael Landon. He became a pastor in Hawaii. And in 2010, he pled guilty to falsifying documents in order to receive medical assistance and food stamps.
Mm.
Basically, he underrepresented his wealth by failing to disclose properties he owned in other states.
Okay.
Now, as far as child stars go, if you're not going to be Ron Howard or Jodie Foster, committing welfare frauds, that's a pretty good outcome.
Yeah.
I would take that. It could be a lot worse. So
you've gone middle of the road there in
Right,
terms
right.
of child star later careers.
Right. So I hope he's been able to put that all behind him. And if he has, sorry for bringing it up. Jeez. Might not have been the best idea. In that case, Chris, anything you want to talk about that we haven't talked about?
No, I think we're done here.
And next week we start talking about the Heights. Every other week.
Every other week?
Discuss a new episode. Well, not a new episode, but new to us because we haven't watched the series.
Right.
And
I doubt many people have. It's pretty much going to be new to everyone.
Well, yeah, it was canceled in 3 months.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Although someone saw enough of it to, never mind. I'm not going to get into that.
Okay, yeah. Well, I think people know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, thanks so much. Hope you enjoyed The Loneliest Runner. The loneliest runner that you ever do. I'm having difficulty speaking. I don't know what's going on. Have I had a stroke?
I got what you were going for.
I think a
there.
seizure is ahead of me, Chris. Call the cops. In that case, for Chris Morgani and Jim, I'm Steve Rees. Ask
Askiwawa.
what am I going to know?
Tigers.
Eat 'em raw. We did it.